Hi guys, I'm Brad. I'm a physical therapist at QLI in Omaha. This is Seth. Seth has a C7 level spinal cord injury, and he was gracious enough to demonstrate some floor transfer techniques for us today. So we set up a scenario here in Seth's apartment where he has come out of his wheelchair. He's going to have to right his wheelchair and then get up onto a stable surface to transfer back into his chair. At this point, Seth isn't able to go straight from the ground up into his manual wheelchair, just not quite enough tricep strength to do that. But one of the things we did want to point out, you'll notice I'm sitting on a futon. Seth had the opportunity to furnish this apartment. When he came into it, he decided to go with the futon for a few reasons. One, it looks nice in the apartment, right? Two, he can flatten it all the way out, and so he'll use it to do some of his range of motion during his day. That's just kind of part of his routine. But then thirdly, for a situation like this that could happen in his apartment, it was at a lower level, so it'd be easier to get up onto the futon from the floor, and then he figured he could kind of stair step it from the floor to the futon and then back up into his manual wheelchair. So thankfully, that's what he went with. You're going to see it in action. And I'll point out a couple different scenarios that you may face in your own home if you have a couch that may be a little bit higher, and maybe some problem-solving tricks that you could use to get around that too. So I'll let Seth take it from here.
All right, so as you can see, I'm on the floor. First thing I'm going to want to do is try and get back more towards. And as you can see, I got a lot of spasms every time I move quickly. So, gotta get my way back towards the couch. Alright, so now I just gotta make it back towards the couch. That way I got some lever, and I can also be able to bring my chair back towards me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna pull it close. I'm gonna wanna lock the wheel that's on the far side. That way I can kind of use it to be able to pull the whole chair back, like so. And then I'll lock the other wheel and get it in place of where I want it to be. And to make things easier, you always want to grab your knees right behind them, pull it towards you. When they're sticking out, you don't have enough lever to go backwards.
So you'll notice Seth is setting himself up to get up onto the futon with his back directly to the futon. At this low of a surface, he is able to essentially just do a tricep dip to get his hips up and over. If we take this up even 3 or 4 inches higher, it would be more difficult for him to do that tricep dip and actually get his hips cleared up over the edge of that surface. So if you're in a place where you have a little bit higher level surface and this would be too difficult for you, another way to do this would be setting yourself up more to the side. So if we rotated Seth 90 degrees so he was facing me, he'd be able to kind of use his wheelchair and the surface to be able to swivel his hips up onto that couch. If the surface is too high, a few other options you have is to take the cushion off of the surface, right? So you can lower the surface by taking the cushion off. You can always take the cushion off of your chair to gain a little bit more height between your bottom and the surface that you're going to as well.
Alright, so at this point, I've pretty much got my feet where I want them. I'm going to grab right here on the wheelchair. This hand's going to go more towards the back. I'm just going to push as hard as I can with my triceps and just go straight back. Just like that. I made that look a little easier, I know, but it took a while to practice. And at this point, with the spasms calmed down, I pulled my legs back towards me. From here, you just kind of readjust yourself, get yourself situated. You'll pop back up to your wheelchair. Another good idea is make sure your feet are always pointed away from you, not in front. To kind of point off to the side so you get more time to like twist and you don't get tangled up. Here again, I'm just going to use my weight and just be able to pop myself back up. Yeah.
Good. Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments, we'd love if you leave them below. Otherwise, subscribe to our YouTube channel where we have more videos and content. Thanks.